So, most helpful SN4 tool. I find Twitter is very helpful because there's so many people who can help you. It's awesome because if you're doing a problem and you make an error, but you can't figure out where you went wrong, you can tweet a picture of your work, and everyone else is always more than happy to take a look and help you out. It's also really helpful because we can chat with all of our classmates without having to add them to another type of social media, like for example, Facebook. I've taken to downloading the Twitter app on my phone since it's always something that I keep with me, and it avoids me having to log in every time I do my math. So it's handy because if someone were to ask me a question,
I would know pretty much instantly versus waiting until I was doing my math.
So first we're asked to name and pick a favorite tool that we used over the year in online learning. So over the year we used things such as ePearl, Padlet, VoiceThread, like you're using now, Twitter, email, Sakai, ZenLive, Google Docs, and Gizmos, and all of which were very helpful and important for our online learning, but I had to choose one, and on the next slide I'll show you which one. So out of all the very helpful and useful tools that we used over the year, I chose Twitter as my favorite tool, but I could have very easily chosen email or Sakai or ZenLive because they all really helped me throughout the year, and ZenLive pretty much made the whole online learning possible as well as Sakai. So I could have very easily taken those, but I chose Twitter, and on the next slide I'll tell you why. My favorite tool used over the year was Twitter because it allowed me to communicate with my classmates and teachers. So if ever I wanted to reflect on something, or whether my classmates had something to reflect on or they found something interesting, they would share it on Twitter. That was the place to put it. As well, there were Twitter chats, which was a fun way of kind of learning a bit more about the other people in the Learn community, and the teachers would ask us questions and the students would answer maybe personal questions, not necessarily revolving around math, which was fun. Sharing pictures, the classmates shared pictures. It was very fun to kind of see their world because I live very far from the rest of my classmates, so it was fun to kind of see their side. As well, it was a very fast and effective and efficient way of asking questions, and getting answers from either classmates or teachers. So if ever I found myself stuck, which I often did in a learning check or a final review package, I would jump either straight to Twitter or email and ask my teacher, ask my classmates how I could get through this, and they would often hand me effective and helpful tips. So this is why I thought Twitter was the most useful tool over the year.
Karen, thank you for sharing about your favorite tool this year. I love that you mentioned Twitter chats. For me, that was a highlight of the year, something new we did this year. And you mentioned the word community, and I think that those Twitter chats really helped build community. So I'm glad it was meaningful for you too. Thanks a lot, Karen.
So on to part one of my voice thread. My favorite tool in this course would have to be Twitter. I had never used Twitter before. I've heard of it, but I've never used it. So I made an account especially for the class, and I checked it every day on my Apple device, and it made it so easy to see what's going on and how other people are feeling about our homework and stuff like that. It was great for asking questions after hours. Mr. Let was always ready to help someone on Twitter. You can PM her on Twitter, you can tweet questions at her, and she's always on and she's great to answer your questions. And so yeah, Twitter is a very important staple in your homework routine for either asking questions or tweeting about certain topics.
Ashley, I love your enthusiasm for Twitter, and certainly it's very well used in your class. Great job on this part of your VT.
Just to add a little bit on that last slide, is we started this thing called Twitter Chat, and it's a really cool other part of Twitter, and it's like a live chat, so it's like you're private messaging a whole bunch of people at once, and we get to communicate with our fellow Learn students, like all of Learn, across the province, which is pretty cool. The teachers would ask questions, and we'd answer them, and elaborate on them, and it wasn't just about math-related things or Learn-related things. Some were social, and it was really cool.
Through the year, we used multiple tools, but one of the ones that I found the most important was Twitter. Because Twitter is a very important tool to use if you want to ask the teacher questions, or if you have a question that anyone could answer. And when I would ask a question to anyone, so in general, I would get multiple different answers from different people, and it would always help clarify things.